Chosen one, have you wondered why you've been hidden? What if I told you God was preparing you for this very moment? Let me show you what's about to happen. Chosen one, have you felt it? That invisible barrier, keeping you in the shadows while others seem to thrive in the spotlight? You've questioned it, haven't you? Wondering why your talents, your purpose, and your unique spirit were overlooked or misunderstood by the world. But what if I told you that your time in the shadows wasn't a mistake? What if I told you it was intentional? You were hidden on purpose. God was preparing you for something extraordinary. Now, the wait is over. The season of preparation is coming to an end, and your moment of revelation is here. The truth is, you weren't forgotten. You weren't overlooked. You were being set apart, protected, and refined for a divine purpose that is greater than anything you can imagine. The powers of this world, the systems that thrive on control, never wanted you to know this. They wanted you to believe that you were insignificant, that your voice didn't matter, that your light was too small to make a difference. But they were wrong. You were hidden, yes, but not out of neglect. You were hidden out of necessity. And now, God is ready to reveal you. In this video, we're going to uncover the reasons you were hidden, the ways God has prepared you, and how you can step boldly into your purpose now that the time has come. This is a moment of transformation, and you're not watching this by accident. If you resonate with this message already, take a moment to like this video and comment 77 to declare that you're ready to step into the light. Stay with me until the end, because what I'm about to share could change everything you thought you knew about yourself and your journey. The purpose of being hidden. Have you ever wondered why God chose to hide you? Why? Despite your talents, your calling, and your relentless desire to make an impact, it seemed like no one noticed you. Why opportunities seemed to pass you by, and doors remained closed while others appeared to move forward with ease. It's a question that likely haunted you during those long nights of doubt, when you wondered if God had forgotten you, if perhaps your calling wasn't as real as you once believed. But let me tell you this, being hidden was never a punishment. It was protection. It was preparation. God hides what is precious, just as a master jeweler keeps a rare gemstone in a vault, or a seed is planted in the dark soil, covered from sight. Your time in the shadows was part of God's divine plan to prepare you for something greater than you can imagine. Think about this for a moment. A seed's potential is never visible on the surface. It's buried, unseen, covered by layers of earth, seemingly forgotten. But it's in that hidden space that transformation begins. The seed cracks open, roots grow deep, and a foundation is laid that can sustain the growth that's about to burst forth. This is what God has been doing in your life. He has been working beneath the surface in the quiet, unseen places, preparing you for the moment when you would emerge strong, purposeful, and unshakable. This isn't a new pattern. It's how God has always worked. Think of Moses, who spent 40 long years in the wilderness as a shepherd before he was called to confront Pharaoh and lead the Israelites out of slavery. Moses wasn't ready when he fled Egypt as a young man, full of passion but lacking wisdom and patience. It was in the solitude of the wilderness, far away from the noise and expectations of others, that God shaped him into the leader he was meant to be. Similarly, David was anointed as king while he was still a boy, tending sheep in the fields. Yet, it would be years before he ascended to the throne. In those years, he faced danger, rejection, and isolation, living in caves and fleeing from Saul. But in that hidden season, David learned to trust God completely, to lead with humility, and to fight with courage. Without those years of preparation, he wouldn't have been ready for the weight of the crown. Their time in hiding wasn't wasted, and neither was yours. God doesn't waste anything. The very experiences that made you feel invisible were the ones he used to equip you, shape you, and strengthen you. There were battles he didn't allow you to face because you weren't ready yet, because he knew the weight of those struggles would crush you if they came too soon. There were opportunities he withheld, not because you didn't deserve them, but because stepping into them prematurely would have been detrimental to your growth. God's timing is perfect. even when it doesn't align with our expectations. And He knows that sometimes the best thing He can do for us is to keep us hidden until we're ready. But there's another layer to this. It's not just about your readiness. It's also about protection. The powers of darkness have always tried to destroy what is meant to shine. When something has the potential to disrupt the status quo, to bring light to places of darkness, the enemy will stop at nothing to extinguish it. Think about Jesus. Even as a baby, His life was under threat. King Herod, fearing the prophecy of a new king, sent soldiers to kill all the male infants in Bethlehem. Joseph and Mary had to flee to Egypt to protect him. That wasn't a coincidence. It was a spiritual attack, an attempt by the enemy to prevent Jesus' light from reaching the world. And just as the enemy tried to stop Jesus, he has tried to stop you. You felt it, haven't you? The resistance, the obstacles that seem to come out of nowhere, the relentless attacks on your confidence and faith. These weren't just random challenges. They were intentional. The enemy saw your potential, even when you couldn't, and he worked to keep you hidden, not realizing that God's plan was already in motion. By keeping you in the shadows, God was shielding you from battles you weren't ready to fight, from enemies who would have sought to destroy your purpose before it could fully take root. Think of the story of Esther. She was hidden in the palace for such a time as this. When she was chosen as queen, she probably didn't understand why God had placed her there. She might have even felt insignificant, wondering how she could make a difference. But when the moment came, when her people's lives were on the line, she realized her purpose. Her hidden season wasn't about being overlooked. It was about being positioned. And the same is true for you. Your time in the shadows wasn't about rejection. It was about protection and preparation. Being hidden isn't easy. It's lonely. It's frustrating. It's a season that can make you question everything. Your worth, your calling, your future. But it's also a season of intimacy with God. In the hidden places, there are no distractions. It's just you and Him. It's where you learn to hear His voice, to trust His plan, and to rely on His strength. It's where your character is built, your faith is deepened, and your purpose is clarified. These are things that can only be forged in the quiet, away from the spotlight. But now, chosen one, the season of hiding is coming to an end. The time for preparation is giving way to the time of revelation. Just as a seed eventually breaks through the soil and reaches toward the sun, you are about to step into the light. The waiting wasn't in vain. The struggles weren't meaningless. Everything you've been through has been leading to this moment. God has been working behind the scenes, aligning circumstances, preparing hearts, and positioning you for the purpose He's called you to fulfill. And here's the truth. The world needs you. The systems of this world thrive on control and conformity, and your light threatens to disrupt their agenda. That's why you felt so much resistance. That's why you faced so many battles. But the very thing they fear is the thing God is bringing to pass. You were hidden for a reason, but now you cannot be hidden anymore. Your light is too bright, your purpose too important, and your calling too urgent. Comment hidden if you now understand why God kept you in the shadows. And don't go anywhere, because next, we'll explore how God has been preparing you in silence. What He has done in the hidden places will amaze you. Stay with me, chosen one, because this is just the beginning. How God has prepared you in silence. While you were hidden, something extraordinary was happening. You might not have realized it at the time, because in the silence, it often felt like nothing was happening at all. But rest assured, God was preparing you in ways far beyond what you could see or comprehend. Think about a seed buried beneath the soil. From the surface, it looks lifeless, insignificant, as though it's been forgotten. But in the hidden depths of the earth, something miraculous is taking place. The seed is breaking open, putting down roots, and laying the foundation for the growth that will one day burst forth into the light. That's exactly what God was doing in you. In the hidden places, He was breaking things that needed to be broken, healing wounds you didn't even know you had, and planting truths that would one day bear fruit. This process of preparation was anything but easy. In fact, It may have felt like you were being tested beyond your limits. The silence was heavy at times, wasn't it? It felt like prayers went unanswered, like the progress you longed for was delayed indefinitely. But there was purpose in that silence. God wasn't punishing you. He was purifying you. He was refining you like gold in the furnace. Isaiah 48 verse 10 reveals this divine process. Behold, I have refined thee, but not with silver. I have chosen thee in the furnace of affliction. The furnace of affliction is no place of comfort, but it is where strength is forged, where impurities are burned away, and where character is built. Every heartbreak, every disappointment, every door that was slammed shut in your face was part of this refining process. God was not tearing you down. He was fortifying you, making you stronger, wiser, and more resilient so that when the time came for you to step into your purpose, you would be fully prepared. Think back to the trials you've endured, the moments when you felt like you couldn't go on, when the weight of rejection, loss, or failure seemed unbearable. Those moments weren't meaningless. They were God's way of stripping away everything that didn't align with the destiny He has for you. Perhaps you've had relationships fall apart that left you questioning your worth, or you faced setbacks that made you wonder if your dreams were even possible. Those experiences weren't designed to destroy you. They were designed to refine you. God was breaking off the parts of you that couldn't carry the weight of your calling. He was building in you the endurance, patience, and faith you would need to walk the path ahead. In the silence, God was also healing you. There are wounds we carry that we don't even realize are there. Traumas from the past, lies we believed about ourselves, fears that have taken root in our hearts. These hidden wounds can hold us back, keeping us trapped in cycles of doubt and insecurity. But in the hidden places, God works as a master surgeon, carefully and lovingly tending to those wounds. The silence may have felt like abandonment, but it was actually an act of grace. God needed you in the quiet, so He could do the deep work of healing that couldn't happen in the noise and chaos of the world. You've gained something invaluable during this time: spiritual depth. While others were busy chasing the things of this world, success, recognition, material wealth, you were being rooted in something far greater. You were learning to hear God's voice in the stillness, to trust Him when the path wasn't clear, and to rely on His strength when yours was gone. This is a gift that can't be bought or taught. It can only be developed in the hidden places. In the silence, you learn that your identity isn't tied to what you do, what you have, or what others think of you. Your identity is rooted in who God says you are, and that truth has become your anchor. This preparation has also given you clarity. While the world tries to pull people in 1,000 different directions, filling their minds with noise and distraction, you've had the space to focus on what truly matters. You've had time to reflect, to grow, to discover the unique gifts and passions God has placed within you. Like David tending sheep in the fields, you've been sharpening your skills, developing your character, and growing in intimacy with God. David didn't know that his time in the fields would prepare him to face Goliath or lead a nation, but God knew. And just as He prepared David, He's been preparing you. But let's be honest. There were moments when the silence felt unbearable. Moments when you questioned if you were forgotten, if all your efforts were in vain. You looked around and saw others seemingly thriving while you were stuck in the shadows, wondering when it would be your turn. That feeling of being overlooked can be crushing. But here's the truth. God wasn't overlooking you. He was protecting you. He was shielding you from battles you weren't ready to fight, from opportunities that would have destroyed you if they came too soon. His delays weren't denials. They were acts of love. Take the story of Joseph as an example. God gave Joseph a dream of greatness. But before that dream came to pass, Joseph was thrown into a pit, sold into slavery, and unjustly imprisoned. To the outside world, it looked like Joseph was abandoned, but in reality, God was positioning him. In those years of silence and suffering, Joseph was being prepared for the responsibility of leading a nation. And when the time came, he was ready. The same is true for you. Every season of waiting, every trial, every moment of silence has been part of your preparation. God has been aligning circumstances, molding your character, and positioning you for what's next. This preparation isn't just about you. It's about the impact you're meant to have on others. The depth you've gained, the lessons you've learned, and the strength you've developed aren't just for your benefit. They're for the people you're called to serve, the lives you're meant to touch, the light you're meant to shine. Your preparation has equipped you to step into your purpose with confidence, knowing that you're not walking in your own strength, but in the strength of the one who called you. So where does this leave you now? It leaves you ready to step into the light, ready to embrace the purpose you were created for, ready to face the challenges ahead with faith and resilience. The time of silence is coming to an end, and the time of revelation is here. What God has done in the hidden places will soon be visible for all to see. The roots you put down in the dark will support the growth that's about to take place. The foundation you built in the quiet will sustain you when the storms come. Comment refined if you can now see how God has been preparing you. And stay with me, because next we'll talk about how to recognize the signs that it's time for your revelation. The best is yet to come, and you don't want to miss what's next. The time is near, chosen one. The signs are all around you, and God is giving you clear indicators that your moment of revelation is here. But how can you recognize these signs? What should you be looking for? Stay with me, because the answers will give you the clarity you've been searching for. If this video is speaking to you so far, don't forget to subscribe, share this message, and click the Super Thanks button to support. The best is yet to come. Recognizing the signs that it's time to be revealed. How do you know it's time? How do you know that the season of waiting, of being hidden, is finally coming to an end and that God is ready to reveal you to the world? Chosen one, the signs are there if you're paying attention. They might not be written in the clouds or announced with thunder, but they are unmistakable if you look closely. God's timing is perfect, and He doesn't move without first preparing you and the circumstances around you. One of the clearest indicators is a shift in your spirit. You've felt it, haven't you? That restlessness stirring within you, an unshakable sense that something significant is on the horizon. This isn't mere anxiety or impatience, it's anticipation. It's your spirit responding to the divine alignment that is taking place. It's as though the very air around you is charged with purpose, and deep down, you know that the time you've been waiting for is finally here. This restlessness is a sign that your spirit is attuned to God's timing. It's not a coincidence that you've been feeling like you're on the edge of something new. Think of a butterfly emerging from a chrysalis. The moment before it breaks free is marked by a sense of urgency, a push from within that it can no longer ignore. That's what's happening to you. You've been in the chrysalis, hidden, growing, and being transformed. But now, the walls that once surrounded you are starting to crack, and you're beginning to feel the pull of the light. That restlessness isn't telling you to panic. It's telling you to prepare. It's your spirit recognizing that the time to step into your purpose is finally at hand. Another sign that it's time to be revealed is the way doors that were once closed are suddenly opening. For so long, it may have seemed like every effort you made was met with resistance. You tried to move forward, but it felt like you were pushing against a brick wall. Those moments were frustrating, weren't they? They made you question if you were even on the right path. But now, things are shifting. The doors that were once firmly shut are beginning to open, and opportunities that seemed out of reach are suddenly within your grasp. This isn't luck or chance. It's divine timing. God has been orchestrating everything behind the scenes, aligning the right people, the right circumstances, and the right moments for your revelation. You may have noticed that people who once dismissed you are now drawn to you. The ones who overlooked your potential are starting to see the light in you, seeking your wisdom, your insight, and your strength. They may not fully understand what's changed, but they sense it. This isn't about you trying to prove yourself. It's about the undeniable presence of God's hand on your life. When God reveals you, He does it in such a way that even those who doubted you can't deny the transformation. They're seeing what God has been cultivating in you all along, and now they can't help but be drawn to it. This shift can be both exciting and unsettling. After all, You've spent so long being hidden, being overlooked, that this sudden attention can feel almost unnatural. But it's not about seeking validation from others. It's about recognizing that this is part of God's plan. He kept you hidden until the appointed time, and now that time has come. The people who are drawn to you aren't just random connections. They are part of the purpose God has for you. Whether they are there to learn from you, support you, or partner with you, their presence is intentional. These divine connections are signs that God is positioning you for the impact you were created to make. You might also notice a clarity in your vision that wasn't there before. The questions that once plagued you, why am I here? What is my purpose? What am I supposed to do? Are beginning to be answered. It's as though the fog is lifting, and you can finally see the path ahead. This clarity isn't something you've conjured up on your own. It's a gift from God. He is revealing the next steps, guiding you with His wisdom, and confirming in your heart that you are ready. The Bible speaks of this kind of divine revelation in Habakkuk 2, verse 3, which says, "For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry." The vision God has given you is now speaking. The time you've waited for is here. But let's talk about the challenges that come with recognizing these signs. One of the hardest things about this transition is overcoming the fear that you're not ready. After spending so much time in the shadows, it's natural to feel hesitant about stepping into the light. You may find yourself questioning whether you're truly prepared, whether you're strong enough, wise enough, or capable enough to handle what's ahead. These doubts are normal, but they are not the truth. The truth is that God doesn't call the equipped. He equips the called. If He is revealing you now, it's because He knows you are ready, even if you don't feel like it. Another challenge is the temptation to resist the signs out of comfort or fear of change. The hidden season, as difficult as it was, became familiar. It became a place where you didn't have to face the scrutiny of the world, where you could work quietly on your growth without the pressure of external expectations. But now, God is calling you out of that comfort zone. He is asking you to trust Him, to step into the unknown, and to embrace the purpose He has prepared for you. This is where faith becomes crucial. You may not have all the answers, and you may not see the full picture, but you can trust the one who does. Recognizing the signs also means being willing to act on them. When doors open, you have to walk through them. When opportunities arise, you have to seize them. When people are drawn to you, you have to step into the role God has called you to play. This isn't about striving in your own strength. It's about partnering with God and allowing Him to lead you. It's about saying yes to His plan, even when it feels bigger than anything you could have imagined. The signs that it's time to be revealed are not just external. They are deeply personal. They are the whispers in your spirit, the moments of clarity, the divine connections, and the opportunities that seem to appear out of nowhere. They are God's way of saying, the time has come. You are ready. This is your moment, chosen one. The world has been waiting for the light that only you can bring, and now is the time to let it shine. Comment signs if you've noticed these shifts in your life. And stay tuned, because next, we'll talk about embracing the moment of your revelation with confidence. The best is yet to come, and you are closer than ever to stepping fully into your purpose. Don't stop now. This is just the beginning. Embracing the moment of revelation. When the moment of revelation comes, it's natural to feel unprepared. After all, you've spent so much time in the shadows, waiting, refining, and questioning. The thought of stepping fully into your purpose can feel overwhelming, even paralyzing. But let me tell you this, chosen one, God doesn't make mistakes. If He is calling you now, it's because you are ready. You may not feel ready. You may still be carrying the scars of your journey, the weight of self-doubt, and the memories of past failures. But God sees beyond all of that. He sees the strength you've built, the lessons you've learned, and the light that is ready to shine through you. This is your moment. Not because you are perfect, but because you are prepared. Think about how long you've waited for this. How many nights you've prayed for clarity, for direction, for purpose. Now that the answers are here, it's time to trust what God has been doing in you all along. It's time to silence the voice of fear that says you're not enough. Fear will try to convince you that you're unqualified, that the challenges ahead are too great, or that stepping into the light will expose your weaknesses. But fear is a liar. The Bible reminds us in 2 Timothy 1 verse 7 that God hath not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. Fear is not your inheritance. Courage is. Confidence is. Faith is. God has equipped you with everything you need to step into this moment, and He will not let you fall. Stepping into the light requires faith. Faith that God's timing is perfect, even if it feels sudden. Faith that the same God who called you will sustain you. Faith that the seeds He planted in you during your hidden season are ready to bear fruit. But faith is not passive. It requires action. Think of Peter stepping out of the boat onto the water. The storm was raging, and logic told him it was impossible. But he walked anyway, because his faith in Jesus was greater than his fear of the waves. That's the kind of faith you need now. The faith to step out, even when you don't have all the answers. The faith to trust that God will meet you where you are and guide you where you need to go. It's also important to recognize that stepping into the light doesn't mean stepping into perfection. It means stepping into obedience. You don't have to have it all figured out to begin. Moses didn't feel ready when God called him to confront Pharaoh. He tried to argue that he wasn't eloquent enough, that someone else would be better suited for the job. But God didn't ask for perfection. He asked for obedience. He reminded Moses, who hath made man's mouth, or who mocketh the dumb, or deaf, or the seeing, or the blind? Have not I the Lord? Exodus 4 verse 11. Just as He equipped Moses, He has equipped you. Your weaknesses, your doubts, your imperfections, they don't disqualify you. If anything, they make you the perfect vessel for God's power to shine through. You might be wondering what this moment of revelation will look like. Will it be dramatic, like a sudden breakthrough or a life-changing opportunity? Or will it be subtle, like a quiet shift in your heart or a gradual opening of doors? The truth is, it could be either. God works in ways that are often beyond our understanding, but what matters is your response. Whether your revelation comes with thunder or a whisper, the key is to embrace it fully. Don't hesitate. Don't second guess. Don't let the weight of what if hold you back. When God says it's time, it's time. Comment ready if you're prepared to step into your purpose. But don't go anywhere, because the final section will show you how to live as a light for the world. What comes next will not only shape your life, but also the lives of those around you. Stay with me. This is just the beginning. The revelation is just the beginning. What happens next will define your impact on the world. Stay with me to find out how to live boldly, as a light in the darkness, living as a light for the world. Your revelation isn't just for you, it's for the world. Every step of your journey, every tear you've cried, every challenge you've endured has been leading you to this moment. This isn't just about your personal breakthrough or a sense of accomplishment for yourself. It's about stepping into the role you were created for. To be a light in the darkness, a guide for those who are lost, a vessel through which God's love and truth can flow into a broken world. Chosen one, you've been called not just to rise, but to help others rise alongside you. The purpose of your revelation is far greater than you. It's cosmic in scale, eternal in significance, and deeply personal to the lives you are meant to touch. When Jesus declared, "Ye are the light of the world," a city that is set on a hill cannot be hid, He wasn't simply offering encouragement. He was giving a command, a purpose, and a prophecy about who you were created to be. The light you carry is not your own. It is God's light, placed within you to illuminate the paths of others. You were hidden for a reason, kept in the shadows while God worked in you. But now the season of hiding has come to an end. You cannot remain hidden any longer because the world needs the light you bring. The darkness is deepening, and people are crying out for hope, for direction, for something real. And you, chosen one, are the answer to prayers you haven't even heard. You are the vessel through which God's light will shine into places that have long been overshadowed. Living as a light for the world is no small calling, and it isn't easy. Light, by its very nature, exposes what is hidden in darkness. It reveals what others would rather keep hidden. The truth about who they are, the chains that bind them, and the lies they believed. This is why living as a light requires courage. It means standing firm when others push back against the truth you carry. It means walking in integrity when the world tempts you to compromise. It means being willing to shine even when it feels like the darkness is fighting to snuff you out. But take heart, for your light is not fragile. It is not something that can be extinguished by the forces of this world. It is the eternal light of God. And as John 1 verse 5 says, "The light shineth in darkness, and the darkness comprehended it not." No matter how great the darkness, it cannot overcome the light you carry. Chosen one, the time for hiding is over. God has been preparing you, and now He's ready to reveal you to the world. Step boldly into your purpose and let your light shine. If this message resonates with you, subscribe to this channel, share this video, like it, and comment, "I am chosen." The world is waiting for you, and your time has come.